because I understand how to make videos that get views now on these short form platforms. So knowing that, it becomes another volume game. I'm just going to keep making videos until I get one hit 1 million views. And then that's like the cheat code. And then once I see what did 1 million views, we just keep pivoting from that. We keep doubling down. 1 million views, 500K, million, 500K. Like you just keep going until you get these big viewed videos. And then the apps tell you what they want to hear.
All right. Welcome to today's VidTao Podcast episode. This is VidTao Co-Founder Ian Nagy. And today we have a very special guest, Mr. Ryan Magin. Ryan is the TikTok organic growth strategist. He's created an entire new way of approaching TikTok organic content that actually generates results at scale. Everyone from Grant Cardone to the Hormozis and everyone in between works with Ryan to really scale their businesses on TikTok with organic video content. And this is content that can then be repurposed across all the other short form content platforms, YouTube Shorts, Reels, Stories, etc., etc. Ryan has a wealth of knowledge that he's going to share with us today, and get ready to take notes. And regardless if you're doing anything on TikTok, or even if you think your audience is on TikTok at all, I think you're going to be shocked at the kind of results that you can get. And I think it's going to become apparent to you when you hear what Ryan's got to say. So let's get into our chat with Ryan Magin. This podcast is brought to you by VidTao.com. VidTao is our free YouTube ad library and spy tool, research tool. It's VidTao.com. At VidTao, we have close to 1 million unlisted YouTube video ads that you can search, find, discover how they're doing on a day-by-day basis. So you can really see what ads your competitors are running, see ads in different markets that you can model to create new winning ads for yourself, and a whole lot more. It's all there inside VidTao.com. Plus, we have a premium edition. So the database is free to access, but then we also have a premium edition where you have full unlimited access to the database. And inside there, we also provide training. So we also run an agency called Inceptly. That's INCEPTLY, Inceptly.com, where we've managed over $150 million on YouTube. It's a video traffic agency, and we've worked with everyone from brands like Descript.com, Huel, to real scrappy direct response info products, supplements, health, beauty, e-commerce, you name it, we've done it, and love sharing what we've learned. Every week we drop new training in there, everything from YouTube ad media buying to running e-commerce creatives on YouTube to hardcore tracking and attribution tutorials to really level up your data science game for advertising and everything in between. Right now, as we speak, we're working on a training regarding YouTube Shorts. Hopefully we'll be live by the time you hear this. On and on and on. This is our passion, is video advertising, and we want to share it with you inside of VidTao Premium. And actually right now, for a limited time, you can get access to VidTao Premium for a very special price. So if you go to VidTao.com, sign up for free, check out the database, upgrade to Premium for this very special price, you'll get access to all of the database and all the trainings. And also wanted to add that at Inceptly, we do free brainstorm calls with clients like you. So if you ever want to get help or ask questions about your YouTube ads, your video traffic on other platforms, we're available to chat. Just go to inceptly.com/call, CALL, and set up a time to chat. It's free and would love to speak with you. Our team's waiting to speak with you. So without further ado, let's get into the show. It's funny because I saw someone was claiming your sort of edit style on some Facebook group. Like, I think I saw this. It was Michael Sanchez's group, I believe. And he's like, no, this is.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, there's been a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I kind of stopped looking at it because it drives me insane.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, Michael likes to tag me in things though. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, Michael, please stop. Like, I appreciate you, but it drives me nuts.
Yeah.
And then there's like all these because I have a bunch of NDAs I'm under, so I can only talk about certain things with certain people, and it's just but I mean, in my own marketing, I don't use my clients at all. Mm-hmm. I've never made a singular video about any client except for one, which is Adley Stump. who I think is my most impressive client to date. Beyond who, I mean, like everybody knows I work with Alex and Layla. Everybody like Cardone, like I worked with both the Petersons. Like my client roster stacked, but like I had the most, like Adley Stump is like, it's like 100 million views a week on Facebook.
Wow.
And she's like every mom's favorite Facebook creator. So it's like, in my opinion, she's like the biggest person I've ever worked with.
I don't even know who she is. I just had to look her up.
Yeah, it's the Adley show. She runs like 15 different viral creators. Like they do, I think it's the billion views a week or something stupid, like across like it's insane. They make purely viral content, like skits, pranks, like all the stuff you're like, this is so fake. Yeah. She's like, yeah, I know, but you should see the ad revenue on that. like it's insane. Like working with her, like completely changed my perspective. And it's actually why like the style of content is why it is, because she was the first person to ever pay me a single dollar. And it wasn't that much. She paid me $750 a month to do her TikTok for her.
Really?
When nobody cared about TikTok 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's one to my, like why she was so early on. She's always early on. I feel like she sees shit. So I was just like, but yeah, she was the first account we grew to 1 million. I did it in around 5.5 months.
Wow.
And I only charged her $750 a month for like 5 months, and she got 1 million followers. So
that's insane.
To think now that, I mean, for those where we charge $6,000 a month, I've come a long way in a year and a half.
Right. That's amazing.
So, but that was just for TikTok though. Things are much different now. Like there was no reels and shorts when I started doing what I was doing. So
that's crazy. So did you learn a lot from working with her in terms of like, yeah.
Well, I mean, most of my TikTok content, this is kind of like, basically what you guys do. It's like ads. Like, she kind of shifted my perspective on, and this is how organic content has gone. So like people watching this, like, and they're all ad guys. I mean, because I know you're a company that like we treat, or I try to. I mean, we do a lot of videos now. Just for context, now, currently I have 17 clients. We post roughly, it varies because sometimes we do more, 1,800 videos a month to the TikTok, Reels, Shorts, Twitter. Like we're testing Pinterest. Like we are on every short form platform there is. We are posting to the tune of 1,800 videos a month on average.
Wow.
Which is like 20,000 videos a year. if I did not take on any more clients whatsoever.
Yeah.
And that is singular videos. Like we literally post 17 videos to TikTok, 17 videos to Reels, 17 videos to YouTube Shorts, 17 videos to Twitter. Like it's across the board, full mass distribution. So the data that I see is invaluable. It's why, like when you look at my account, like because a lot of people follow me from my account now, like I don't post every day. I post as much as I can because I'm actually managing this company now. It's like a lot of work. But my videos, I averaging right now 1.5 million views a week off I think we post maybe 15 times a month.
Yeah.
But because like when I make videos, it's like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
They're just, I wish I could do more and I had the time. And mainly it's editor bandwidth I don't have. So it's like I can't, really do the daily for myself, but I'm able to be like, okay, this topic's popular. Let's focus on this. Let's crush this. And then that's kind of the value in working like with, my company is because we see so much data. Like I don't care who you are. I can tell you what to make and you'll get 1 million views.
Interesting. That's crazy.
And, as long as there's obviously variables, but as long as you speak well and you understand, being on camera. But yeah, to answer your question about Adley, she really taught me the power of like broad content, the ability to make content to be seen by a lot of people. Like, and that's what truly drives like viral views. And like my context for viral, for those listening, is I consider a viral video 1 million views in 24 hours.
Wow.
Like if that happens, and we've done that as a company over 1,000 times on TikTok. And I have spreadsheets, and that's what I say, like I'm a freak like that. But with Adley's content, like pretty much every single video I made was getting 1 million views. And you do that enough, you start dissecting it and reverse engineering it. And it was just that there was no limitations on who could watch the content. And the way the apps are going, specifically, it's the way TikTok, Reels, and Shorts are right now, is, if you guys follow Gary Vee, I'm not a huge fan of everything he says, but occasionally he has those gems. It's like, I can't argue it. That's right.
Yeah.
He's really, he's right. He's talking about interest-based algorithms. And the way we view each video is what we call interest-based attention, which is what I spoke on at Traffic Conversion Summit. Like, what you make videos about should not be about like your niche or your expertise. It should be about your interests and your hobbies and things that you do that you have some knowledge of or experience in. And I was just talking to a gentleman before we got on this call. He's a big YouTuber, like 1.2 million subscribers. He just happened to wears a lot of leather jackets. I was like, that's an interest. Like your interests are leather jackets. I was like, how many do you have? He said 6. I said, so you would say that you know more about leather jackets than the average person, correct? And he was like, yeah. I said, yeah, you should make a video about that. And like, but that from a algorithm standpoint, the algorithm's going to be like, if you've ever looked at a leather jacket, they're going to show you that video.
Wow.
Whereas if you start talking about niches, like, whereas if I make a video about video editing or a video editing technique, it may get 10,000 views. And that's if it was a perfect video. Like, because there's only like 10,000 people that are interested in editing videos. Like, or 20,000, whatever. But the numbers, like, the more obscure you go, the worse it gets for views. And that's what like Adley's account really taught me, was that the more you make your content go broad, the more views you're going to get. And the algorithms and all the video platforms, they just want watch time. So the longer you're keeping people watching, they reward those people. And that's why she was constantly rewarded with big ad revenue, like, high watch time, them showing her videos more because, hey, the last 6 were good. Let's show them all. So it was just kind of an eye opener, because from that, before I did any of that, I just really only made niche based content. And now I'm like anti-niche. I think everybody should just make content about pretty much anything, but have their specific content that they, hone in on, as in like their mastery in. You should still make those videos, but like, and I believe I shared at Mimosa, like, if you think about like an 80-20, like the 80-20 principle, like 80% of your views are going to come from like hobbies and interests and really broad content, whereas like 20% of your views are going to come from your like niche-based, audience-based stuff. So it's kind of flipping it on its head, because most people teach, pick a niche and then go deep. And it's like, no, it's like I teach, or I encourage, because people still resist this. And, the longer they do that, the more views that me and my clients will continue to get. But it's just, I say go deep on yourself and what you are knowledgeable about and what you know about and what you're interested in, more so than going deep in what you're like making money with right now. So it's just a different framing. And that's what I learned, 100% from editing Adley's stuff, and just that really fast paced content. Like, and this was like, TikTok editing and like the style of videos being so fast paced is really new. Like, it's not something that, if you've ever tried to hire a video editor and say, copy these videos, like, you'll find really quickly that they fuck a lot of shit up. And it's just not good. Because editing people and condensing time into that quick of a time span, you have to cut out a lot of things, and you have to like rearrange things, and you have to make it make sense, and you have to do things to keep it smooth. And it's a very different style of editing that I don't think has kind of caught on. I see a lot of people trying to do it, but the people that are actually good at it, I have 8 people that work for me that I think are really good at it. But beyond those 8, I see a few here and there, but it's most people are just like, yeah, put those subtitles on it like Alex Hormozy. Like, and then that's it. And I'm just like, yeah, that's like not any, that's like so small of what makes it
right,
than anybody realizes. So it's, it's kind of more what I just explained. It's what the videos are about. So that was a long-winded answer about Adley, but I mean, it's good context.
No, I mean, that's so much stuff to explore there. I mean, one of the things that really struck me with your presentation at Mimosa was talking about Alex's stuff, and I don't know, what you can share or whatever, but basically his business goal for doing all this stuff, right, is super specific, right? We're talking about like people with 5 million a year plus businesses looking to sell. And talk about that. Like, and then, so what's worked to drive that business result with organic TikTok?
Yeah, I mean, everybody comes to. I think everybody's mindset right now is still, it's like, how is TikTok going to make me money? And I would encourage people to kind of detach themselves from that specific question.
Okay.
More or less is like, how is TikTok going to expose me to the people that might spend money with me? And when you think about it like that, you have the app, which is like, and this isn't just TikTok. And like, I refer to TikTok, but like Reels is the same as TikTok. It's just on Instagram, and Shorts is the same as TikTok. It's just on YouTube. Now, whether the audiences are slightly different across all three platforms. TikTok's skewing the youngest, but also TikTok gives you the biggest reach. So if you're trying to make videos and you're trying to grow a following and be seen by a lot of people, like TikTok is your best spot right now. Like, and then if it works on TikTok, it's going to work on Reels. It's going to work on Shorts. Like, I mean, I can show like my account, like the video that got 1 million views on TikTok, the same one got 3 million views on Shorts. Like if you focus on TikTok, it just works across all of them. So with that said, in reference to Alex's business goals, and same thing with like Grant Cardone's. Like Grant Cardone's not doing this to be more famous.
Yeah.
Like he's doing it to make money, but. And then I also work with I work with Brandon Carter, who's a high ticket fitness coach. He sells a $7,000 package. Like all these people have more higher ticket stuff to sell. Whereas Alex being very specific, like their main person is 3 to 5 million a year, and they want to buy your company. The subsection of people on the internet that make $3 to $5 million a year is very small.
Right.
But when he first started, I mean, I know this. They don't share all their numbers, and like but they're acquiring a few companies a month at this point, and I think they're ramping that up because they're ramping up more content production, and they're ramping all of that up because the more lead flow is coming in, and Grant has like his investment fund, which is like, I think the qualifications to invest, I mean, you have to invest close to like $1 million or something really high. He's ramping up content production, and it's all short. It's not that they're doubling down on long form YouTube. And in reference to kind of what I said at Mimosa was to find the people that you want to reach, you have to get through the young demographic. And what that means is the young demographic is the gatekeeper. So when they watch your content, if it's too high level, if it's only being very specific and talking about niche based terms, only things that like the insiders in your industry would know, it's going to stop with the young demographic. It's going to get a couple hundred views, and they're going to keep swiping. Now, reason being is they don't understand it. So it doesn't pass through them as a filter. So let's say that you say the same thing, but you say it on a level in which they understand it. Maybe you talk at a second grade level and you dumb things down because that's how all content should be portrayed these days. And then they go, oh, that was pretty informative. I like that video. Comment, they'll probably still comment something negative, but that's just their personality. They'll comment, they watch the video to the end, and now the algorithm's like, oh, all right, this group of people liked it. Let's send it to 10,000 more. Oh, they liked it. Let's send it to 20,000 more. Oh, they liked it. Let's send it to 100,000. Let's send it to 500,000. Next thing you know is you have 1 million views. Wow. Now, when you have 1 million, like over anything, I'll take 1 million views on a singular video with the hopes that I reach those 500 people that might buy my offering. I'm definitely going to probably see those in 1 million people. Whereas if the video only got 5,000 views, I might only see one of those people.
Wow.
It's you have to open up the content to be distributed, or else it's just not going to resonate. You're going to continually be stuck at low views. And like, again, it's almost like this blind faith too. And I understand the resistance when I talk to people that like everybody at Mimosa was like, it's so hard for them to wrap their head around.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm just like, and my company and what I've been able to do is literally, kind of from the same thing. It's like, I don't have a website. I don't advertise any of my clients. I don't do anything. I just continually make videos that get views. And people are like, I want to hire you to make me videos that get views. And I like your style. And now it's like, I've heard that you're the originator of this, or like, I know you work with so-and-so. So it's, and I charge, upwards of $6,000 a month. So it's like, that's a pretty small subsection of people that can afford that.
Yeah.
At least for like, a year. I might get $6,000 once, but it's kind of just, you got to kind of have a little faith that the distribution and the amount of reach that you're going to get is going to do more for you than that one really long form, super explained video that like 85 people are going to watch.
That's
You know,
crazy.
again,
Yeah.
that's I know that is hard for people to. It is a blind faith, and I wish I had a better answer as to why it works. Like I just know that nobody is producing less short form right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like on any platform, everybody is like more. Like, and nobody's saying that about long form YouTube, and which is also not to. You know, if I were starting another agency, I would probably start a long form YouTube agency right now. When everybody's focused here, I'd probably go there. But like, I just don't see short. Like, you have both of them have to coexist.
Yeah.
But it's like short will always win on volume, and short will always win on like, you know, it can be a little less produced. It's far easier to make. I mean, even me, like we charge a premium in my company because we kind of guarantee the results. But I mean, you can get videos that look like, you know, mine or Alex or Mosey's on Fiverr for $10-15. Will they perform? Probably not, but they'll look like, you know, our videos. So it's there's more, you know, I just think that you could get it done for a lot cheaper, you know, and you could get it done, you know, at scale. But it's also too, at some point you're going to want to be like, I just need to actually get views now. So what do I do here? And that's where it comes down to the creator. Like, you got to speak better, and you got to talk better, and you got to find what they want to hear from you, and what the app actually cares about, which is where most creators and people, like marketers specifically, are wildly undershooting right now. They're just not getting the app. Because of like the same question that started this whole little rant was they're trying to make money from it, and nobody on TikTok wants to buy your fucking course at all. You know, even if you don't sell a course, they think you sell a course, and they don't want to buy it from you.
That's funny, man. I mean, so, you know, you mentioned like long form and short form, and I remember you talking about this as well, how you scout for editors and what they do, like that interface between, like, you know, short form as a gateway drug to a long form content producer. Like, you know, you got these people doing the Joe Rogan clips, stuff like that. Can you talk more about that process?
Yeah, like, I mean, one of my, like, the biggest struggles, at least that my company has right now, is finding and hiring really good talent. It's actually the only constraint that I have as far as what would take my current company from like $1 million a year to like 5 is the amount of good editors I can acquire. And it's just YouTube editors. And like, I consider there's like social media editors, and then there's like your traditional videographer / editors. And the traditional ones, those are like your music video people, your wedding videos, like your real estate videos, like more hype based videos, like if you will, I guess. Like, and then you have like your social media editors, which I would consider basically YouTube editors. And there's different styles to that. And then those YouTube editors kind of get lumped into different categories. You got like the Casey Neistat editors, you got like the Peter McKinnon editors, you got the Mr. Beast editors, and they kind of find a style and they adopt to it, and then they kind of attempt to go work or create videos around that style, you know. And then you have like short, which basically erases all of that because it's so fast paced that you can't, like, and I come from more of the social media editor, like editing YouTube videos and things like that. That's kind of, I mean, my background, I've been an affiliate like, I created a BMX training DVD. I made videos to promote it, to basically self-fund my BMX career. That shifted into like some heavy affiliate marketing via some dark black hat Google SEO shit with sniper sites and link like softwares like backlinking and like all the crazy shit, which then collapsed with Google Panda update. And then I shifted my focus. I actually got kind of thrown into the world of men's style and fashion as far as like helping guys get laid by how they dress. I created a whole dating and pickup business based around men's style and fashion. And then I had my daughter, and I got engaged, and I didn't really want that vibe anymore. And that's when I kind of reverted back to making, you know, ads and different types of videos. And I freelanced for like a year, and then I fell into TikTok right at like during the pandemic and lockdown, to where it was basically out of necessity. I was broke because all my editing clients basically asked me for refunds. And I wasn't prepared for it. You know, like most people, I didn't plan for 20 grand a month to just disappear at once, you know, and then like half of them to ask me for refunds on top of it. And then not be able to go generate any new clients because the fucking world shut down. So I'm like, oh, like I am really broke again. And then I was like, I found TikTok, and it was just kind of like I was kind of late to YouTube. Even though with the fashion business, I built up to 30K and around 1 million views a month. I got signed to an agency. I was doing pretty well with it.
Nice.
And then again, kind of burned out, making 5 to 6 long form videos a week. And then always fighting the algorithm, always fighting that. And then it turned into, I switched to Instagram to kind of make little fun ads, like more vlog style, kind of like Casey Neistat-ish. And then that turned into then a job. And then I did that for a while. And then it was like when all that kind of ended, the key factor was I was late to YouTube and I was late to Instagram, and I was only able to build enough of a following. Now, that's not saying you can't grow a following there now. It's absolutely possible. It was just, if your goal is to grow an Instagram following right now, you're very late. Like you have no first mover advantage. Like, so you got to come correct in some way, shape, or form. Whereas like with TikTok, right around the time when Trump was like, we're going to ban the app, I was like, well, if he doesn't actually ban this, I'm really early. And maybe I can get 100K on this platform before everybody else wakes up to it.
Nice.
And I did. And now it was, and then I did it for multiple clients as well. So it was just kind of, and that was my entire pitch when I started. It was just like, remember how you were late to Instagram? And they were like, yeah, actually I was. Yeah, well, you're not late to TikTok. And just for everybody, listen, I don't think anybody's still late. It's still a very young app.
You think so?
It's harder. I do.
Yeah.
Mainly because it's not as easy as Instagram. Because Instagram, and I don't want to knock it because I love photos, but like anybody can take a fucking picture and write a caption.
Yeah, true.
Like, you don't have to talk.
Yep.
It takes a certain type of person to not only make one good TikTok video, but if you go look at my account, there's like 700 videos on there. And most clients, at minimum, you have to do 30 videos a month, which is, that's like 365 videos a year. Like it takes this special type of person to consistently do that. I don't think that it is oversaturated on TikTok. So I want to like kill that belief, because I still make videos and we start with new clients and they get 5-10 million views. And then with those 5 million views comes like 30, 40, 50,000 followers.
Wow.
So it's like, I've seen that happen pretty much once a month on one or more of the clients' accounts. So if you get good at making the videos, like I have no attachment to follower base, like, because I understand how to make videos that get views now on these short form platforms
from scratch.
So so knowing that, it becomes another volume game. Like I'm just gonna keep making videos until I get one hit 1 million views, and then that's like the cheat code. And then once I see what did 1 million views, we just keep pivoting from that. We keep doubling down, and it's like 1 million views, 500K, million, 500K. Like you just keep going until you get these big viewed videos, and then the apps tell you what they want to hear. So it's and then but that takes back on the like circling back to the editing, like all the fancy shit that makes like the cool, like the drone shots, the transitions, the B-roll, you can't use any of that in short form because it's too slow. Like you don't have the time, and I saw this from experience because I would do these fancy transitions. Like while I was talking, I would be like talking and I hit the camera and then I'd show up over here and I would say something and then I'd kick the camera back. And I was doing all these in-camera transitions, which are very popular on YouTube. And I would look at the analytics on my videos and like the watch time would just as soon as So then I just started taking them out, and it's like face to camera, talking, zooming in a little bit here and there, big bold text. Like, you have to like force your message down people's throats, and then hope they watch till the end. So it's just it's a more abrupt and abrasive style of editing. And like when we first started, like I used to make them a lot faster, which looking back, I went a little overboard, because you're trying to figure shit out. So it's like my captions were really big, like. When we were trying to figure shit out, but I used to call it Tourette's inducing. Like, I want people to spaz out and go into a seizure while watching my video. Because, it wasn't like the video's too fast. It's like you watch too slow. So we've since mellowed out on that a lot, but that was kind of my mindset. And that kind of makes editors uncomfortable because they're so story and overall aesthetic focused that they can't do that. So that's like, I think that's why there's a disconnect with editors. And now the disconnect is like everybody thinks they can edit short form. They are easy to edit. They're not hard, in my opinion, from an editing standpoint. It's fucking second grade level editing.
I know you're saying you use Camtasia, right?
I use ScreenFlow, which is the Apple version of Camtasia. And the reason for that was, I think I told you when we were in person, but I was using Premiere Pro. And Premiere Pro, like at its peak, like I have 8 or 15 employees now, 8 full-time video editors. And at like my company, like when I was growing it, it was me and 2 others, Luis and Savannah. They're 2 that have worked with me the longest. We were each editing 5 to 6 videos a day. So Premiere Pro would crash like at least 2 or 3 times a day. And it would crash. And most likely, I got in the habit of saving work. So like Premiere Pro would crash. I just have to restart my computer. And that was like a 10-minute process, like every time. And it turned into 15 to 20 minutes because like while that was doing, I just go grab a drink or maybe I run to the store. And Premiere Pro crashing 3 times ended up sucking like an hour and a half of my day.
Wow.
Like, based on efficiency I don't know, there's probably people that are going to like add that up, but like, figure 5 to 10 minutes each time it crashes 3 to 4 times a day. That's 40 minutes. Like that's the time for me to edit it. And it's like out of the flow and I got to restart and I got to reboot everything. So when that would happen, like it just started killing my productivity. And Luis, like he's a savage. He was actually editing like 6 to 7 videos a day at one point.
Wow.
We were doing that so we could take the weekends off. Because like everybody posts every day, but you don't realize that editors have to edit with plan for the weekend because that's 2 posts. So it's like, and when you're working with multiple clients, you have to like factor all this in. So he was like using Premiere Pro and it was crashing a lot. And he's like, so finally I was just like, let me just go back to ScreenFlow because I used to use it to record my screen for like webinars and shit.
Right.
And I was like, this edit, like it strips everything down to like the bare basics and it's fast. It doesn't stop.
That's
and
great.
I reclaimed my time.
You're like, good testimonial for StreamFlow for sure. Wait,
but to be honest, like all my team now uses Premiere Pro though.
They do,
I tell them to switch, but they don't.
Like,
once you've been a video editor for so long, you're like married to the software. Like
got the
but
internalized
another reason, like 2 of the things that we do, and this is the giving away like trade secrets for like our videos, like I'm a stickler for only using Apple emojis.
Okay.
And Apple colors. Because of the psychology behind it, like more people are on Apple than they are on Android, and it's more familiar. And for whatever reason, they just look better. Like so ScreenFlow has built-in Apple colors and Apple emojis.
Nice.
Whereas Premiere Pro, you have to import the Apple emoji pack and the Apple color pack. So that, I don't know, it's like it was meant to be.
That's amazing. Wow. The dream tool. I thought it was super cool. You mentioned also like your team structure, how walk us through the process of, so client, you're not out there shooting the footage typically. I know you have some amazing footage on your channel, like hilarious stuff just from, it was crazy. I was looking, you had all this stuff from traffic and conversions just from walking around. It's random videos, man. It was awesome. But so walk us through. So clients come to you with a bunch of footage and then you dig in there and find the gems with like one part of your team and then they pass them to editors and then boom, content's done. How does it work?
So we do film in person for a lot of our clients.
Okay, got it.
I prefer that, but it's gotten to the point where I have too many clients now. And obviously the scalability factor is kind of something I have to always be aware of to keep growing the company. And that is because of, obviously, I work with the Hermosis and they've ingrained a lot of philosophies into my head just by osmosis of being around them. But for answer, I mean, like obviously people love Alex and Layla. I flew to Vegas once a quarter for the first like year of us working together.
Really?
And we would do batch filmings of around 100 videos per session.
Wow.
And that would come with planned out topics, like bullet points, like things that I wanted to make sure they covered. They would have topics that they want to covered. We work together. They've gotten a lot bigger. And now they have a creative director. His name's Caleb, awesome guy. he's been with them, I think, now for the last 4 months, like four or 5 months. So now we communicate weekly with Caleb, and then he films with them, and then we get the footage back. Plus, they're posting YouTube videos, and we get the raw clips of their YouTube videos. But that's like, in my ideal world, is like we film once a quarter in person. We do 100 videos and we post those because I prefer the direct for platform. It's one in my experience, it's more predictable. Now the second level of that is like the repurposing, which is like we work with Grant Cardone. He doesn't really film direct for platform at all. He is starting. We actually go there next week to film with him in person. Because we need that in addition to the repurposing. And what repurposing is we watch YouTube clips when we clip them. Now, that is not me doing it. I have currently right now we have 3 people that all they do is they watch the client's YouTube channels and they pull clips. And then those get uploaded to a Google Drive folder. And then those get edited by the editors, and then they go to a posting folder, and then those get posted by a poster. So it is more of an assembly line process. And then there's like the third, which is like a hybrid of the two, which like the Hermosis would kind of be there. Cardone's kind of starting, which is like, if we can film with them, we get out there, we film as many as we can, we repurpose. We're having them like film like their Zoom call, like I'd rather have too much content than not enough content, because that is a real problem for people that they don't realize. Once you start producing content at scale, you run out of shit to say, or you start repeating yourself a lot, and the podcasts that you're on start basically being the same thing with a different person asking you questions. So it is a challenge to always find fresh stuff. But I think most people want, the repurpose where it's like, hey, I have all these videos, like, make them go viral. And I just think that that's kind of an asshole-ish thing to say to an editor too, because it's like, I don't want to put any work whatsoever into the platform. And I've only done this work, and actually, it's debatable if that work was any good, because the podcast only got 400 views, so it's like, and just from my experience of chopping up a lot of videos for a lot of people, the average 1-hour podcast nets maybe 4 to 5 good clips.
Really?
Like, so, I mean, you can make a bunch more videos out of an hour-long podcast, but you're not going to get views. Like, so it's, I mean, that is the biggest problem. And like, that's why you're seeing a lot of repurposing services pop up. And then there's a lot of people, I mean, I don't know what the stick rate is on one of those, like where they charge like $1,500 a month. They're like, well, send us your raw and edited podcast footage and we'll send back clips. It's like, if you pay $1,500 for 30 videos and combined, they only got like 1,000 views. How much are you going to keep paying for that? So it's, I'm a fan of how people deliver messages on podcasts, because they are they flow better when they're more in a conversational style. Like some of the stuff I said here would be like, oh, that's a good little clip. Definitely. Like, but what lacks on podcast style or repurposed content is definitive hooks and usually a lot of context. Like, when I say something, I kind of trained myself to speak TikTok in a way. And when I say that, I mean, like, like I'll say like, here's where most content creators fuck up. Like, that's a good hook. Like that's a hook if you're a content creator. Or like, here's how we started working with Alex and Layla, or, some shit like that, that I would do. And then it's like, I'll say what I have to say. And then like, I'll be like, well, let me share it. Let me tell you how, like, so when I was working with Adley, this is exactly what we did on one video based on what I just talked about. So it's like, I'm going to dive deep on the questions, whereas in most people's podcasts, they just skim over all the details because they're not thinking about it. And 2, they're probably, the person's going to ask them another question, and when you're talking to 2 like creators like that, it's more obviously you're both probably smarter than the people watching if you're both talking, like in that type of format. So usually means the people that are watching aren't going to understand what you're saying unless you break it down better for them. And that's where it takes somebody to kind of come in and be able to mine for that gold to find when you do actually say these things. And then those are usually the videos that get 1 million views.
Wow.
So it's we've seen a lot of content.
I bet you get your ears get pretty honed, I'm sure, to all that stuff.
And yeah, it's impossible to watch a video now and not stop it. That's a good clip. Like that's a hook, you know, and that's the thing too. It's like if you are somebody, like if you have a podcast listening to this and you want an editor, like you may say a good hook, but not ever actually finish. Like, and it's kind of, that's where like I think my team and like how I train my editors differs from regular editors. Like they would probably leave an incomplete clip. And yes, in some cases those might get a lot of views, but in my opinion, that's negatively impactful on your brand. Like when you leave, we call it blue ball in the audience. Like when you leave the audience with blue balls, like you're a dick.
Right.
Like, so they're not going to follow you.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where you see those comments like a lot where they're like, he's saying a lot without saying anything.
Yeah.
Like that usually means that you didn't provide a story or context as to what you just said.
Got it. Didn't deliver.
You know, like so it just wasn't delivered complete.
Yeah, makes sense. I'm curious. So you go into these shoots. So obviously you're able to sort of harvest all this long form content for just gold, for those gold nuggets. And then you go in though, when you go to these live shoots, you got these bulleted lists of 100 topics. How are you approaching that in terms of what they're going to talk about? How does that work? How do you brainstorm all that?
Yeah. So it's not scripted at all. Like, well, for one, most of the people I work with, it'd be very hard to like script them on anything.
Right.
You know, because I mean, and that's, you know, for the context, like the average person I'm working with right now is a minimum of like at least 100K followers on YouTube. Like, you know, 100K is pretty much the norm across all platforms. With the average, I mean, we manage 7 accounts over 1 million now on TikTok, 5 of which were there because of us. Like most people are at like 500,000, 250K plus. So it's like the people we're working with are seasoned video creators, you know, so that does make a big difference in the ability to get that output. And I just want to kind of clarify that. Like if you had never made a video before and you start making TikToks, I would be, you know, very overzealous to sit down and be like, we're getting 100 videos today. Like you just wouldn't be able to do it. It's like going to the gym. Like it's like you can't lift 315 your first time in the gym. You know, so it's, now there are freaks out there that probably could, but you know,
understood.
You can't prepare for that.
Right.
So knowing that my people are very good at delivering their message, and it also comes with full expertise and mastery of their craft too. Like when I sit down with Cardone, it's not like he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Right.
You know, regardless on people's opinions, he may not know what he's talking about, but he's not going to seem and he's not going to falter in a video.
Yeah.
You know, same thing when it comes to businesses and like the Hermosis or like we work with Aaron Marino with I Am Alpha M when it comes to men's style. Like the dude just knows his craft. So, you know, to do 100 videos, we used to do 100 videos in a day, and the fastest was actually Alex. I think we did it around 4.5 hours.
Whoa.
And that was like a video every 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, I was just trying to do the math on that. That's crazy.
Yeah, we didn't eat lunch either. Like, because that's another factor. If you eat lunch, your energy dips after lunch. So you want like, but now I split it up into 2 days, and we usually do 30 to 40 a day.
Okay.
And we plan for about 4 hours each time. And that isn't because of them; it's more energy. Because you want to seem energetic and enthusiastic on camera. And I mean, even if you're really, really good, I mean, when if we're filming and, you know, videos like 65 plus, they didn't really perform that well.
Okay.
You know? So it's like, we split that into 2 days now. So it's, you know, 2 separate shoots, but the goal is we do a lot of research. I mean, what we use for research, the app is the first thing we use. Like, again, being that I post that many videos a day, we see what works on a daily basis, like across big accounts. So that is a competitive advantage that me and my company have that I know isn't achievable for most people. So before we had that, it was just being on the app, looking at videos that were getting 1 million views. Or if it was consistently on the For You page, like reading the comments, see what they're saying. And really we're looking for like, what was the video and was it a complete video, or were there comments saying were the comments insinuating that they wanted more follow-up? That's kind of where it started. And then we found Reddit. Reddit was really big for topics, specifically the teenager forum. And I joked because it's a very depressing place. The teenager forum on Reddit, it's like, like choose your time wisely when you go in there.
Right.
Just because it's very depressing. But like that is like kind of what I would call the heartbeat of TikTok. It's like Redditors talking about things in the teenager forum. And I mean, it's social skills, relationships, like bullying, like very emotional hot buttons. And then you have YouTube. YouTube, you can go to any channel, search by most popular video, and just kind of reverse engineer from there. Plus, again, comments like, was the video complete? Was it not complete? Like then there's like similar web and like all those, like those are decent. But I just think the problem with TikTok and most people's like, how do you come up with topics and know what to film? It's like most people don't spend time on the app because they see it as a time suck. I mean, I watch so much short form, like beyond even my clients. Like it's all I consume. Like, and it's like research. It's like I have ongoing notes in my doc, like of videos that I've saved for whatever reason. Like I like it, I'll go back and watch it. Oh, there's a video, and then it's like one topic turns into three. You know, again, it's experience of making videos, and then also like when I'm filming with somebody, they may start with a topic. And then we'll film that video and I'll be like, hey, well, tell me about this. And then that turns into a whole nother topic. And then it's like, oh, well, here's the hook for that. Like what me and like Luis and Savannah, like the people that film, we've gotten really good at like, we joke, it's like topics on command and or like hooks on demand. So it's like being able to fire out hooks. And that's partially, I mean, most all the people listening to this should be pretty good at that. Being that you're used to ads and you know, different things of that nature. But like I come from a heavy, like most all the money made in my dating business was all from email. So I wrote a lot of subject lines.
Got it.
And in my opinion, like when we first started with TikToks, I considered them subject lines with context. Like, so it's like, how can I get a subject line that's going to get it scroll stopping and then, you know, at least give them context to tell them what that's going to be.
That's interesting.
And that it's just a way to, you know, not saying that that's perfect, but that was just a way that I would frame it for myself to kind of put myself in that mindset of like, what can I say to get the attention I need? And it was like, what's going to get them to open in Gmail?
That's crazy.
You know, so for the ad guys here, I'm sure you guys will love that one.
I mean, that's one of the things too you're talking about is on the ad front. You know, we talked briefly about it, about TikTok ads versus organic. And I remember you said something interesting, which was that, correct me if I'm wrong here, but basically you see the organic as a sort of testing pool for actually finding stuff that's going to pop anyways. And that's the stuff you want to put spend behind versus putting spend behind untested content to begin with. Yeah.
To clarify that, like when you think about a video, especially whether or not it's an ad, like, I mean, even to just take an ad, for example, on like Facebook, like the goal is, you know, the new way of ads, and I may be a little outdated because my life is organic. So for the ad people, don't crucify me, but you want the ad to get watched all the way through.
Right.
And usually if the ad watches all the way through, there's a pixel behind that fires when they hit a certain point. So let's say that point is 75% of that said ad or 50%. Like most of it is like 50, 75, and like 90. Like, and then you're showing, obviously that's retargeting. Like, so it's like knowing that you're going to make an ad and a lot of people on this call and people that use your software probably know I would consider them probably advanced ad traffic buyers. So it's, you know, especially if they're spying and they're you know, you kind of hit a certain level with ads like that. You're above the regular Facebook user, you know, so you want the video to get watched all the way through. So when we make a like a short form video, like chewing cough drops like candy right now. When we make a video, we want it to get watched all the way through because we know that just like if it were a cold ad, it's going to, like, the algorithm behind it. And here's how, like, where I don't think people have made the connection yet is all short form content, whether it's Reels, Shorts, or TikTok, is all interruptive. Like, you're not, I mean, not a lot of people just sit back and go, I'm watching TikTok right now. Like, give me an hour. You know, it's like I'm in line at the grocery store taking a shit. But yeah, so knowing that it's interruptive, you have to treat it like it's an ad. Every video that you make, even on the organic front, like they don't know who you are, probably don't like you. You're interrupting them, and you have 3 seconds to get them to know why the hell they should continue watching you. Sounds pretty similar to an ad that you're going to run on Facebook or use it. Like, so knowing that, like, that's how we treat every ad. Like, it's not, hey guys, or like, my name's Ryan Magin. It's like, we don't even say the fucking name. It's like, here's what you're going to learn. Here's how we're going to do it. Like, here's what you need to know. Here's, so that's like front one. It's like, okay, make videos that you assume are going to be shown to everybody and they don't know who you are. And nor do they care.
Mm-hmm.
And you're upsetting them by showing them this video. So then it's like, okay, then we got to work on the watch time. So we have a good hook. Like, does it flow well into like a secondary type of hook? Then we're into like the meat of the story or a tip. And then it just kind of ends. The farther somebody goes, in every million view video that we've ever created, the watch time was 50% or more. Really? So it's like they watched halfway through the video. And in most cases, it's like 70%.
Wow.
But there's another factor that TikTok weighs heavily, and that's the percentage of like how many people watched it all the way to the end. Now that number is pretty contingent on between 40 to 60%. So when you get 1 million views, a minimum of 400,000 people watch that fucker to the end.
That's insane.
Now, knowing that, the next videos that they see, regardless of if they hit follow, they just, so those 400,000 people are like, yo, so-and-so, Ian liked Ryan's content. Now the algorithm goes to work and it's like free retargeting.
Mm-hmm.
So based on your behavior patterns on TikTok, let's say you watched, a couple of Charli D'Amelio dancing videos or you watch some video editing, you watch some Alex Hormozi videos and you watch some Grant Cardone videos and some Ryan Pineda videos. Now it's like, okay, so they know that Ian likes, dancing girls